chosen one!
Welcome to the Chosen One. I'm your host, Qui-Gon Din, and today we got Hail Cthulhu with us, and we're just going to be basically going our round by round breakdown of the Evergreen Open. We did not do that well at the event. It was a kind of a thrashing that we got. None of us made top cut, and I guess we'll just get right into it. So for spoiler alert, I ended up getting Delta Squad in time just to have for the event. So I had my Jin Andor list locked in, but I ended up taking Mace Rex 501st with the Delta Squad box, which I should not have played at the event. Should have stuck to my Mace Mundi list, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I played the Thrawn Vader and the Riff, and I think I should have gone with my original and played some meta lists instead of trying to play some fun lists. I think it was more try hard than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, there was a lot of Andor at this event. Spoiler alert, Andor did really well. Basically, first, second, and third place were all Andor lists. Who also had Anakin and Mundi as other pairings. So Anakin had a really good event, and Andor had a really good event. I guess we can break down into the round. You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I think I'll go first. I mean, I think I did a little worse than I was thinking I was gonna do. I thought I was gonna go like 1-3 in the tournament. I ended up going 0-4. No, I got the bye, so I technically did go 1-3. But yeah, my first round was against Anakin, and that was against Amber, and she demolished me. Like nothing in that matchup went my way. I was super nervous. It was my first game against somebody other than you. So I had no idea how anybody else plays this game outside of our games. And our games are generally fairly casual, like super killy, like just a fun time. And coming up and playing a tournament setting and having to play a lot different than the normal like move up and attack, like it was pretty difficult. And then I was super nervous. My first play, I pulled the snow troopers and I misplayed. I took them off my back point and ended up not scoring my back point on turn 1, and something I would never have done had it been a regular matchup. And so my next turn I got shore troopers, so I had to cap my back point, and it just ruined any momentum I even possibly could have got. And I got my left side and center, and then I got my left side center, but I couldn't make it to the ladder to get up on top of the point. So she had moved what was it? Ahsoka onto the center and just capped it on elevation. And then Thrawn, even with the extra on my next activation, Thrawn didn't do anything to Ahsoka. She blocked everything. And then I wanted to see Vader in the beginning, and he was my second to last activation. And then my last activation was Shatterpoint. So none of what I had, nothing to counter her plays. And so she just basically blitzed me, and that it was game. It was a 2-0 struggle. I think I got 1 kill on Rex, and she killed 3. One was my shore troopers. One was uh Sergeant, and that was the game winning. She killed Sergeant with Anakin. I don't remember the third. She probably killed the snow troopers.
Yeah, Anakin getting a wound on a secondary, especially when it's kind of squishy to him as Sergeant, kind of rough.
Yeah, I was trying to keep Sergeant away because I know that's what her game plan, like a game plan, would be, just to kill Sergeant, get the free movement. So her first kill was she ended up just killing shore troopers, and she just got the force refresh off of that. But I all my counter plays were either like first activations or my last activation, so I couldn't really like counter anything she did, and it just sucked.
So, for context, listeners, he's playing this Thrawn Vader list, and Thrawn can really get Vader Emperor Servant into the back lines to where he's really wanting to do stuff. And him getting bottom decked here just means that he wasn't in the fight. And you absolutely, in that matchup, need Vader to fight Anakin. Otherwise, you're in a bad spot.
Yeah, Anakin was like the one matchup I didn't want to see, as both my lists kind of go into it poorly. And like when we were testing this Thrawn Vader list, I didn't like I must have been getting like really good deck orders, because I didn't realize how like deck order dependent this list actually is. And I think we were testing on Never, or not Never Tell,
First contact.
First
mostly.
Contact, which allowed me to put Vader in reserve. So I think that I think I should have originally taken First Contact like I was going to, because that really makes the list shine, because you could put Vader into reserve and then to play him whenever you need him.
Yeah, the clever ploys make that matchup more interesting.
Yeah, because Thrawn's tactics with Vader, like it's super, like when our testing, it's really scary to see. You know, you pull that tactic, you get an advance and strain Vader, and then you just play Vader, and he's in the back line turn 1 or 2, and it comes very. It's very hard to deal with Vader on your spawn on like the first two or three turns.
Yeah, and I definitely get why you didn't take first contact, because it is your first tournament setting. Like,
Yeah, it was my first tournament, my first time playing anybody outside of you, and I didn't want to like go into time. I didn't want to deal with any time constraints. And then come to find out, like they added 15 minutes to the round, so nobody actually went into time. We didn't have any. We had what's it when you get the extra momentum?
oh yeah, duh, mission critical.
Yeah, we had mission criticals, but we didn't. There was no draws.
Yeah, and
There's no dice down.
to be honest, I think you should have played first contact.
Yeah, I think I would have done a lot better.
You have a lot more experience on it. And no one wanted to play first contact at this event. I brought first contact. I should have brought sabotage. I kind of got on my first contact games, but we'll go through that when I go through mine. My first round ended up being a 2-1 victory. I end up playing my Jin Cassian list. I play it into Mandos because I'm not sure how I feel about Deltas going into Mandos. It kind of becomes a really killy type list, and I knew I wanted the Cassian because she brought Never Tell, and this is the other factor that really had me pick Cassian was I need infiltrate on Never Tell because I don't have first contact clever ploys to make up for the lack of infiltrate. Um, this game was pretty close. I won struggle 1 really quickly. Struggle 2 went fairly quickly in their favor. But in struggle 3, we get into this spot. I went to 6 wounds to 4. But we get into the spot where I had to watch out what I was wounding because Mando was jumping between points. In the final round of the game, I had K2SO wake up and I had to bait out a Mando
Yeah,
reposition.
my game had ended prior, so I gotta watch the end. And he makes this really sick move where he kills. It was either the coverts or the um
I believe it was the coverts.
yeah, I think it was coverts. He killed K2SO, kills coverts. She does the Mando trigger to keep the point, moves Mando over to the point, and then you pay the two force to dash towards I think it was you dash towards
I,
I or not I don't know
it was either Jin or Luke. It
Jin or
was
Luke and moves him to the other point and caps that point. So it was a pretty cool like bait and switch.
Yeah, it was either I take the priority point and just win off of scoring out, or I take the other point and win off of mission critical. We were in mission critical. This one, it kept on flipping to secondaries on the challenging the odds, so I could not just leverage my supports to get the wounds and get the extra victory points. Otherwise, I would have won sooner. Because Base and Turret basically got a wound every time they activated. It was a pretty killy game. So this was a pretty easy game one. It was a fun opponent. Mandos. This is a good time to talk about these maps. Mandalorians usually have a really good advantage on maps because they have access to a lot of jumps. None of these maps had that issue. These maps were so full of ladders that it kind of mitigated a lot of the advantage that Mandos could bring.
Yeah, I think well there was no like the puzzle of having to navigate terrain was non-existent. Like you could there's a ladder to go anywhere on most of the maps. And most of the ladders went straight to points. And it made like fast lists super fast and even average lists fast.
It's people play different styles. They set up maps differently, but the amount of the lack of scatter and the amount of ingresses. This is like the exact opposite of Adepticon, where Adepticon has few ingress points. This has so many that there's an ingress point basically next to every objective on the map. I've noticed that with the tables.
Yeah. Like they had ladders on the high ground piece to where it goes straight up to level 2, which I think totally defeats the purpose of that piece of terrain. But like we said, everybody likes the game to play different. Like I understand like liking to have it fast paced. You don't have to like worry, but like when we play, like I like to have like how am I going to navigate this piece of terrain? Do I have to can I figure out how to climb over it or on top of it, or maybe I can cap it by shoving the unit off and just capping it from down below. Like I felt like it was basically advance, go up a ladder and be on the point.
Yeah. No offense to the map builders and the people who built the maps and how it goes. It's just our preference. We like a
Oh
little,
yeah, it's just
yeah,
way preference.
we like a little bit more scatter on the train and a little less ingresses, but that's just us. So round two. This is
I think round 2 I was the most disappointed in myself. I made such a horrible misplay. This was against Darth Donovan. We were playing Sabotage. He took Jin and Hondo. I took the Riff and Grievous. And it started off in my favor fairly well. And then I had my 2 back points and or it's I started off I pulled Grievous, I shoot him up the board, take center line, I put some rounds into commandos, and I believe I either wound them or I get them close to wound. I think I get him close to wounded, and then he counters with Jin, and she shoves Grievous off, takes the point, and then I get uh the secondary
Not that's right. Kraken.
Kraken. Yeah, I get Kraken. So he moves up, shoots Jin off the table, and then I cap the point back and use the 5-die attack from the B2s to kill the commandos. So he owns his back point, but the commandos are dead on it. And then he gets Chewbacca. Chewbacca pushes uh my B2 off the point. So then he ends up capping that right center point. And then I get B2s next, which I try and put one on his back point, and then one is gonna try and shove Chewbacca off, which that one failed to get the side point. And then the one on his back point, I was like, so I roll into Chewbacca. Chewbacca blocks everything and gets a heal. So my one expertise that would have done a damage does nothing. So it's a null attack. So in my mind, I'm like, well, screw it. I'll just shoot Jin. Well, I forgot that she gets dashes on her expertise. I throw dice into her. She just dashes back onto the back point. He keeps the point. And at that point, I'm so pissed off at myself. I can't believe I just did that. And so I only score 2. Well, the next turn, he scores 5 points, and that ends the struggle, I believe. And then I get turn flip, and both options were just horrible for me. And I end up only being able to I score 2 points, 2 of the points, and for priority, I'm rolling the points I don't have. So I'm getting 2 points, and then he gets Hondo. I believe he gets Hondo and moves up Wrecker with Hondo and ends up capping all points. And it was done from there. He capped all points twice and basically won the game. It was a 2-0.
Yeah. Sabotage.
I think if I didn't misplay on the Jin play, I might have been able. I'm pretty much. Round the struggle 1 would have gone more in my favor, I think.
Yeah. So I guess we can talk a bit about the elephant room here. So Rift Hampton and the Separatists. There were 3 Rift Hampton players at our event, and only one of them did any good. Riff had a bad showing, except for when he's paired with Mando at our event. And that's a really interesting list. That list actually, he played it and he got into the top 8 with it. It was pretty cool. My round 2, I play against Dr. Huge. This is a game of list chicken. I'm playing against Anakin and Kiad Mundi, or it would be Leia and Andor, and I need to drop my second list at some point. So I dropped Delta and Mace here. This goes not in my favor real quick. The struggle one, we were playing on first contact. I won initiative, and I'm able to maintain the board state fairly well. The problem comes into once he starts able to maintain the board and he retakes the board, I don't have enough displacement to stop him from taking the points. This is where I wish I had Kiad and Mundi with Mace. Mace did fine. Mace was displacing people constantly. The other mistake I should have not done is I should not have taken Rex. I should have taken Pawns with the Wolf Pack. My Wolf Pack would have been very good here. Bodhi Rook, just this game I had really bad die rolls. I had a 10 die attack with boss in this game roll 7 fails, and he's not able to kill Bodhi Rook. So I'm sitting here, and my dice weren't going anywhere. I couldn't play aggression. I made a misplay where I could have ruled 17 to get a point back, but I focus with my attack instead of moving next to Sev, so that way I can dash him back onto my point and retake the point. And it was a steamroll. I played the list once. This was the game where I needed to take a struggle, but I ended up getting O2'd myself. Um, it just kind of snowballed. It wasn't even really him wounding stuff. It was just I did a couple of misplays myself. New with the list, I just wanted to play Delta because I got it. I spent the extra money for it, play it one round because I was going to play Jin the rest of the event regardless of what happened. And it just did not go in my favor.
Yeah, I see First Contact not being a good map for them. I think they want like a sabotage or maybe shifting.
The bubbles were the issue, and not having my infiltrate, not having pawns in there was the other big thing. The 501st just did nothing for me, but Wolfpack would have absolutely condition stacked and absolutely been able to do work. And Mundi would have been the better play into an Andor list. Again, it's kind of the thing, you kind of have to have an answer for Andor and an answer for Anakin, and Delta's kind of my Anakin answer, but I played against more Andor style or just kind of standard lists, and Delta did not do me well. Well, we get on to round 3.
Yeah, my final round. This one, I actually like. This one didn't matter because I was 0-2 at that point, and I think like that made me not like so tense and so anxious about like plays and stuff, and the pressure of needing to win. And I actually played like I normally play, and it was me against Paul, and then he was playing Andor Leia PLC, and I played my Vader Thrawn, and that game almost went to time. We were going back and forth. I think he might have been getting a little irritated over the ladder issues because he kept pushing my shore troopers off, and I would get a tactic via either Thrawn's tactic uh or
DTE and
DTE or Sergeant, and I'd just put him. Oh yeah, there, go back up the ladder and back on the point. I could see him getting a little irritated at that part. And then it ended up, I think, round 1, I believe he won, and I think I didn't misplay, but I misjudged his range 4 with K2SO. I didn't think he'd be able to get the range 4 on it because I kill Luke, shove Luke off the point and kill him, and then I'm gonna cap the point. I didn't think that the advance would have got him far enough to get the revenge off K2SO, but he did, and then that made it so I couldn't cap the point, and that may have lost me turn 1, or that did make me lose it. But I think towards the end of the matchup on Struggle 3, everything was so close to wounded. I couldn't even not kill people. Like every one of his characters were like 2 away from being wounded, and like having to manage Andor's revenge trigger and PLC's revenge trigger, trying to pick your revenges.
It makes you wish you had Iden in that matchup to
Yeah.
where you can condition stack.
Iden would have been really good because I would have just condition stacked everything. And
Ye-
that's why I say I think if I originally took what I wanted to was gonna originally take, which would have been
Iden Grand
Iden
Inquisitor.
Grad Inquisitor, I think would have probably been a better play into that. But Riff was fun. Riff is fun. I still like him, even though he's not a quote unquote meta pick. He's still super fun for even just casual. Uh,
Yeah, congrats to the player that did take them and do really well with them.
yeah,
That list was sick. I put it on the table when we got back from our event, and the Riff Mando list.
I think that was Chris Sampson.
Yeah, Purest of Christopher's on Discord. Shout out to that list. That is a really cool list. I put it on the table, and it does a lot of interesting stuff with that reserve mechanic, and it really Mando fixes kind of a lot of the issues that list has.
Yeah, we played. We got back. You played the Riff, and
We played it into
Mando, and then I was playing Moff Gideon and Grand Inquisitor, and it was basically a Grand Inquisitor list, which that matchup was really fun.
It started off really good. Like we both did like a bunch of 4-point swings back and forth into each other with that. It's just that the Inquisitorious list kind of ran out of steam, and once the Rift train started going, it Dengar was also kind of
Dengar was a menace in that game.
Dengar continues to surprise me with how good he is. And the Weak White Pirates. This is my first time putting them on the table, and that was also their.
Yeah, they were very good.
I think they might be top 5 support for me. I think they are that up there, that good. But my round 3, this is a feels bad round for my opponent. This is a good place to highlight an issue with Andor that we have. So struggle 1, we're playing on Sabotage Showdown. He's playing Iden Grand Inquisitor. And I'm playing Jin Andor. Struggle 1, he's going first. He picks the map. He pulls Iden. He puts her in reserve right away. And then he pulls up ISF. ISF go on the center line, and they do deployment shots onto Baze and Turret. Baze and Turret, I have them in turret stance, so they get the cover 1, and they have the crit mitigation. The ISF don't get more than, they get a 4 damage and a pin on them. And I flip, my turn 1 is Shatterpoint. So, and the card we flip for Sabotage is remove a condition or 2 damage. So I pulling Shatterpoint, I'm like, okay, I'm going to Shatterpoint Baze and Turret. Obvious choice, clears the pin, and I can get them on the midline. And they get the Sharpshooter and Impact from Andor, and they just blast through the ISF. Basically kill them and condition stack them with 3 conditions. He then goes Iden to go and try to take back that point. He kills, he does wound Baze and Turret. There's no one for him to give the condition to because there's no one in range, but there, again, due to the ingress issue, I'm able to reposition my Luke, and my secondary Luke goes back up and gets on the point. He can't take the point, so I'm maintaining the point advantage. He only takes 2. I then flip up Rebel Commandos, and I put my Rebel Commandos on the other center point, and the other one gets in range to that. If I get some shoves and whatnot, I can get them onto the back point, as Rebel Commandos tend to do. Well, I shoot into 5th Brother, and I go 4 down my tree. I'm able to reposition my Rebel Commando onto the back point. The other one puts 5th Brother at does just enough to pin him and adds a couple more damage, but it's nothing major. The protection kind of helped him stay alive. So he's got 3 life left, and I take a 5-point swing. He then flips up Grand Inquisitor, gets 5th Brother, or Riva on top of the point, um, which he's now breaking ties because he has Riva on there. Fifth brother still contesting the point from below, and he does the play and he gets his Grand Inquisitor onto the sideline so he can take back the point. He scores 3, so he's kind of broke the parity there. But right after that, everything starts going down. I take the struggle. Right after I score out the struggle, I do the Andor bomb and I roll 3 hits. Grand Inquisitor's dead, Aiden's dead, Fifth Brother's on 1 health, Riva has now 3 damage on her. After that, he just concedes the game. This is the drawback of Andor. Of It's a bad play experience if you win struggle 1 and you get that bomb.
Yeah, having like half your units die from a bomb kind of sucks.
It gets down to the point where, yeah. So that was my round 3. It ended up being just not really a good game for my opponent. But yeah. But no, round 4. I guess we can skip you because you got your first win.
Yeah, my first win against Bai. Man, that guy sucked all tournament. It was super boring. I sat around. Well, I didn't sit around. I walked around and watched everybody's games and like. Shut up, cat. Yeah, I walked around, watched everybody's games. It was pretty boring. Like a boring hour and a half.
Yeah, and then well, my fourth round. So I play Jin player here. I win initiative, so I pick first contact because this is an Anakin Mundi list, and at the start I start doing really well. I'm getting wounds early because I'm shooting stuff down. The first struggle on first contact is usually the longest. It started going downhill the second Mundi and Shakti started doing their thing. They just kept displacing my board, not really giving. They did some kills, but it was a lot of displacement. And once Anakin got into the fray, stuff just started going down. I took 1 struggle from this, but it ended up being kind of rough. It's definitely leads to the credence that Mundi is the one primary that can kind of play into these Andor matchups. And it has to come down to Mundi or Obi, and there was like no Obi-Wan at this tournament, hardly at all. There was some, but
2 people brought Obi.
Yeah, but a lot of people brought Mundi, and Mundi, it wasn't Anakin that cost me this game. This game was 100% won by Kiada Mundi and Shakti, just constantly displacing things. I was able to keep K2SO on the point, but Shakti comes up, repulses everything off of it. No more point control. I can't maintain the board. So I get 6 wounds to his 4, and that was the end of my tournament. Pretty basic.
Yeah. Oh no, it was a good learning experience. It was fun to finally like play against somebody other than you, because there's no local scene where we're at.
Our locals,
they tried to, and I think they got like 2 people on a Friday night.
They got 2 people for 1 of the 3 events. The other events had no people that went to them.
I kept telling them like, hey, maybe do it on a weekend, but our local, our local, they cater to Warhammer a lot. So getting a spot on the weekend for anything other than Warhammer or Warhammer's other 10 games is kind of impossible.
Yeah, and it's just kind of rough for our local community. Our next stop is Adepticon. We are planning on going. We will be doing a whole lot of prep for that. We kind of now know that we need to min-max at least on 1 list and then take
yeah, I'm definitely not gonna play some jank list like I was playing on this one.
Yeah, this one, and I'm sticking to my comfort. I'm gonna do some more Delta testing, but I don't know where they're gonna land on my list of do I take them or not. I'm much more comfortable with Mace than I am Mace with Mundi. I am much more comfortable with that list as a flex list and do specific matchups. But I'm probably going to be rocking this Jin list at Adepticon. This Jin list is really fun. Jin is my current favorite piece in the game. I don't think it's even close to the second. I'm sorry, Mace, but Jin is way funner.
Yeah, yeah. Any primary that gets to make 2 attacks is pretty fun.
She's also just moving around the board,
she's
and
very dynamic. It's fun to do a lot of stuff with people.
and then when you start really getting into mission critical,
Oh yeah, and she gains heals every time.
yeah, like she was a rock star. She is she's one to watch out for. Overall, and when we get to Top Cut, you can when we go to the actual play results of the Top Cut, top 4 at this event is not a really an interesting top 4 because there's 3 Kanan lit or 3 Andor lists in top 4 and 3 Anakin Mundi lists in top 4. Second place though, it was the Cad Bane Andor list. So it's that bounty hunter dice bucket list that's been floating around. And it ended up playing against Kanan Andor in the final, and I will be trying to watch that game and do some maybe do some commentary on it if I can once they put it up on the YouTube. I'm very interested in seeing how that match went because Cad is one of those characters that I'm surprised more people didn't play him. I think he's the only one playing Cad at the event.
I don't remember seeing another CAD there.
Yeah, that was the only CAD. So overall, very solid event, but it did very much solidify that Andor is kind of the freaking monster in the meta right now. The release of Basincher, I think, kind of sealed that.
I mean, my game against him was super fun, but I also didn't have to play against Basincher. It was PLC, Luke, and Han and Chewie.
Yeah, the this is some rescue box. And it's a good pairing, but Baze and Churret and Rebel Commandos.
Oh yeah, I asked Paul. I was like, "Why aren't you playing Baze and Churret?" I don't have them, or else I would be.
Like Andor. It's this meta is really good, but AMG, please listen. If there's one thing you can do before Adepticon, it's address the bomb. Blowing the town should not work on a struggle you win.
I think that would. That ability still just not even just being OP. Like it irritates me because every other ability similar to it gives your opponent an option to like leave the point or
it only affects 1 point.
Or it only affects 1 point. Like Veers is blowing up the point is his whole identity, and your opponent gets to leave while you still take damage. Like it feels bad when you have characters that have identities that do that, and it's all negative. And Andor's there's no negative. It's all positive.
It only affects the enemy units. It really should not trigger on a struggle you win. Because it creates a real feels bad for your opponent. It's
like rubbing salt in the wound.
It's a little too much. I think everything else on Andor's card is perfectly fine, but the bomb creates a negative play experience. And it creates a negative play experience on the level I feel the like OB2 used to, where you just lose an attack, or Django negating an activation. The bombs.
Yeah, well, that's the main, like, people will quit. Like, if the game isn't fun and it's not fun for people to play, it's like learning to play the game and someone was playing the Vader Grievous list against you and your whole team dies and you don't know what's going on, but you're dead. Like, it feels bad.
Yeah. Again, this is coming from me and I play the list. Andor The bomb ability is the one thing that I feel needs addressing. Other than that, he's perfectly fine. The Shatterpoint giving impact and shatter and sharpshooter too, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, like I said, my game against him was fine. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's just the bombs. The bombs, the feel bad thing. And it's the you don't even need to take it away. You just need to tweak it. Not even that overpowered. It's just making it so it doesn't create a feels bad when you win the
Yeah.
struggle.
Yeah, like I said, it's like rubbing salt in the wound. It's not fun.
Yeah, it creates an unbalanced game state going into struggles 2 and 3.
Although I did win a best painted miniature. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, with your favorite piece in the game.
Yeah, Darth Vader, Emperor's Servant. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I at least got to win something.
Yeah.
And then Sarah Cruel won
wasn't it best
themed?
Yeah.
Which his theme was super cool. His bases were they reminded me of something out of StarCraft where it was like an overrun Terran base. Like it was super cool. Yeah, it was a bunch of like these blues, and then he had like this blood red water effects. It was super cool. Like I loved it. And was there another one? I can't remember.
I think my favorite thing about the event for me was some of my opponents realizing that they listened to our cast. Like that was kind of cool.
People like the SB family, the two daughters, and Chris and the mom. I can't remember her name.
Yeah, my round one opponent, Shelly. Yeah.
Yeah, they were all cool. We ended up having lunch with Chris Sampson, Sarah Cruel, and Nesquik, and Sin.
That was cool.
Everybody, like, for me being a introvert and essentially hating people, like it was really cool to like meet a community that was as what's the word?
Passionate about the game. Kind of
yeah,
thing.
but open, like friendly, like everybody was relatively super cool, like chilled, like very open to like everybody got along. I think it's one of the better communities to be in than some other communities, some other games that we've played.
But yeah,
I enjoyed my time being there. Part of me wishes we went to the hangout on Saturday, but I know you wanted to hang out with your dad, so
it was that, and we were tired. And we didn't, and the big issue is dealing with the Seattle traffic because we weren't staying at a hotel in the area. We stayed at my dad's, and he's out in Silverdale. This is in Bellevue, so it's about an hour and a half drive. And it's not an easy drive. We have to go through Tacoma, and there's always a lot of traffic. And
yeah, that's another thing. Like the left lane is for crime people. If you're not gonna speed in the left lane, please get out of it. I can't tell you how many people I got behind, and I'm like, get out of my way. I drive fast. Yeah, like I just put the GPS in, and it says you got an hour to be there. Well, you know what? I'm gonna make that 45 minutes.
Congrats to Kenny and Scott for getting first, second. Zion's finest coming down and kicked ass and chewed bubblegum, and I guess they ran out of gum.
Yeah.
I had my suspicions that they were probably going to win it. They were the people to beat in terms of rating. And
Chris Sampson got third place with that Riff and Mando team.
I know. I'm so excited about that. So on looking at his list, I think he played it all except for the one round.
Yeah, he played it all but one.
Yeah. Very cool list. It's definitely the coolest list of the event for me. Seeing Riff actually do well. It's just sad that it's not in a separatist shell and that it's in more of a scoundrel shell, but it I
Separatists will get more love eventually. I mean, eventually they're gonna run out of Vaders to make, so they'll have to move to uh, Sis eventually.
uh, we got mini Strav coming up in November. Hopefully we'll get some separatist stuff. Just stop giving Republic stuff for a bit. Republic doesn't really need anything right now. Give separatists some love, and hopefully the Morgan Elsbeth can give Dathomirian Empire synergy some love. It'll be interesting to see the hybrid list between that.
Yeah, I like what can you play? It would best be Talzin with Inquisitor stuff.
Yeah, you could put Taliesin Fifth Brother, but you can throw in what's to say Savage and that. And now you got like a steadfast protection team that you know there's stuff that there could be stuff there.
I think Savage would probably need an update for me to want to play him.
Need shoves.
He needs shoves.
And his force ability should only cost 1 force, not 2. You do that and he's fine. If he had shoves, you'd actually play him. Because right now the only way he's taking a point from someone is by killing him.
Yep, and can't always kill people.
So, based on our thumbnail, what about the droid attack on the Evergreen Open? Well, the droids failed and the rebellion reigned supreme.
Yeah, them darn good guys.
Empire did all right. They did very middle of the road. They had some top slots, but Rebels just kind of dominated everything at this event. And Nova's going to be interesting. Nova happens this weekend. I will be listening and paying attention and just following the event. It's a big event. It's like 42 players. And I think that's like the biggest event until Adepticon. And then like events are going to slow down because of the holiday season. So I think the meta's pretty solved at this point. I think Kanan or Rebels are going to be here to stay, and I feel.
Well, if you want revenge, Rebels got it in the bucket loads.
Well, they also have attrition in the bucket loads now with Rebel Commandos and Base Turret.
Yeah, base shirt be good.
Watch out for them. Aqua droids are no slouch either, though. They do a lot more on the table than they look on paper.
Yeah, like especially you get them in melee and they dominate.
They are very good. They have one of the stronger trees. 7 Scorch are. I feel that the best thing they have is their protection steadfast on points. That's
very annoying.
That's like the only thing I feel they have. Like they can
their bomb's pretty good. It's the best 5-die attack thing, I think.
Yeah, the damage and the strain. Yeah, it's decent. The issue I have with them is that they just kind of once they melt, they now just become I'm going to move and shoot something, and they're all right. I think they are strong, but they are very comparable to Aqua droids for me. I feel that they both kind of do a similar type of role.
I would say 7 Scorch, at least to me, feel better than the Aqua droids.
I think it's because they have access to better support.
I think so. I think Aqua droids will be better once they get better pieces.
Right now, the Aqua droids are probably the best separatist unit in the tag. And I think Riff is close behind them. But I think every other separatist character, I think they need some love. I think make Magna Guards back to what they were. It's still not going to be enough.
Think the Magna Guard nerf was too harsh. I think knocking their health down was like beating a baby seal. It's like
they were already starting to be less good because of the lack of movement that they can do on their turn.
What's that? The Simpsons where there's like he's already dead.
I'm in danger. Oh. Well, yeah, no. So Evergreen Open was good. Going next year is a possibility. Depends on how we feel. Depends on also if we can make it happen. Because we do have to drive 5 hours for this event, and it's
It's a long drive.
a long
It's a
drive.
lot of desert. Don't listen to anybody. Like, Washington is ugly unless you're on the coast or on the east side.
Yeah, the middle of it is nothing but farmland and desert and just flat land, and it's a boring drive. But no, well, it depends on how I feel. Depends on releases. Just it's something to keep in mind. Like, but Adepticon is our next big event. We are locked in on going, and I feel that it will be a good time once we get used to it. Hopefully, we can do well. I think the as good as Worlds could be, I'm more excited about that team tournament.
Yeah, team tournament will be cool. Getting first place again would be cool for you.
Yeah,
Like, holding
I
that record would be
gotta.
fun.
I got it last year for Adepticon. I'm gonna try and get it for this year. So I love the.
I hope they bring Gonk Droid Racing back. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I don't even know how it's played, but
Yeah, because they didn't do it this last year.
yeah, they did it the first year, and they told us that it's going to come every few years, apparently. And I want to know what the Gunk Droid Racing is, just because it sounds interesting and weird.
Which that's right up your alley. Anything weird is that's all yours.
Why I'm excited about that Riff Mando list, and we'll see if I end up playing more of it. It's going to be interesting. Well, this has been the Chosen One, a Star Wars Shatterpoint podcast. Stay tuned as we cover more events during the week, and peace out. Thank you for watching this episode of The Chosen One, a Star Wars Shatterpoint podcast. If you want to catch the next video, you can watch the one linked above, or you can just go and listen to the podcast on the playlist below. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for your support.